welcome back to our 7th episode of Island Tea, and we're now on to our final segment, which is called Eat Local. And in the studio with us, we have once again Her Excellency. What do you call him? Dame?
I don't know.
The opposite of so is Dame, right?
What's up, giving people title?
Or Madam. As in you're in class.
The Duchess? Are you talking about that? Not Duchess.
No,
Not English
that's for
class.
Duke.
Okay, Duke and Duke. Yeah.
Let's say Dame Shannon Hawley.
Okay.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on. Jade, big up to Jade. Woman power as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you young gent. And while we're at it,
I was waiting for my turn,
gentlemen.
but okay.
Yeah,
You're talking to Jade, of all people, and we ain't in on yet? Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm great. In spite of it all, you have to give thanks. So I'm really good. And you?
I find you look the exact same way that you look on the
I'm
poster.
Good, man. No, I'm good. I think that, as I said, we've been through a lot for 2020, and many of us wish that it could just end, for us to get back to where we were 6 months ago. But we're hanging in.
Yes, we certainly are. We're definitely a resilient people in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Definitely.
Not the whole us down for long at all.
At all. I mean, when you look at the other islands and have to compare and contrast and speak to my friends around the region, speak to my friends around the world, compared to us here in St. Kitts. As I said, we really are resilient people.
I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago, and they were like, "Yo, like St. Kitts, like we always get through here."
Right.
I say, "No why? Because we have already been through the storm, Hurricane Hugo, the Great Fire, the flood."
Yeah, I think it boils down to us though as a people. It is not even so much that we've been through a lot. I mean, it's just us as a people, and we're a small island, small federation, and everybody looks out for each other. No matter, and especially now, no matter political rivals, who voting for who this, that bottom line, I think we look out for each other. And I think that is so important compared to what we see, in other islands. Somebody can always go somewhere and beg a plate of food. They could go somewhere and say, nobody gonna go hungry, and that kind of thing. You see it more and more on social media, you see it online, you realize how, truly blessed we are.
Okay, so folks listening, if you're not aware of Miss Hawley and what she does, she's actually into lots of things, including entertainment.
She does it all.
And she runs a very successful, organization called Express Events, responsible for, I believe, to be one of the most wonderful VIP experiences across the Eastern Caribbean. I mean, I've been to VIPs in other islands, and it's nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, Express is not just VIP, it's like a proper experience.
It's
like
a proper experience.
A whole experience.
One time, me and fans went to see Buju in Tortola when he just got out, and we were actually guests of the promoter. There was VIP, and then there was VVIP, where the cabinet ministers were, and so we were in VVIP, and I expected an Express Events kind of experience, and it was atrocious. We couldn't get a drink. They were bringing around small fingerfuls once every 2 hours. Me and fans actually had to end up going out into General by the food court to get something to eat and to get something to drink. And it was a horrible experience, and I believe we're spoiled in St. Kitts and Nevis.
We definitely are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we hear it so many times. You hear it so many times, but that's not an Express VIP experience. And Express Events started way before Express Events. 20 plus years ago, I was doing events.
Really?
You guys will be too young, But no, 20 years ago, I was doing events. Whether it was Stone Love from Jamaica, Renaissance,
wow.
Black Chinese. This was when I was 18, 20, 22 years ago, when Factory Social Center and Morgan Heights was the two premier places to hold events.
Venues,
and I think that it all started then, and even before that. When I was 12, I remember begging my parents to have a fete. my 13th birthday party was a bashment with Ronnie Rascal. So it goes way, way, way back. And I think that over time we were able to build it, and then do a number of themed events prior to the establishment of the Express Events brand.
Right.
A number of themed events. We had a time when my father ran the pumpkin for a year, so it was all these things that then built up to that Express Events VIP experience, because we figured back then that there was an enhancement to the St. Kitts Music Festival that was needed. And back then we went to the then Minister of Tourism, Ricky Skerritt, and we said, we want that opportunity to enhance the St. Kitts Music Festival. And he gave us that opportunity back then. So, and it's been 10 years later, and we've seen the growth of the St. Kitts Music Festival, and we've also seen the growth of Express Events. When we first started Music Festival, we were just a platform, no tents. It was, 60 people. Now we're catering to over 1,500 people over the 3 nights of the St. Kitts Music Festival. So it definitely has grown over the past 10 years.
Funny enough, actually, one of my first jobs was working for Shannon, actually.
Yeah.
For Express Events, so I'm very happy to have had that experience.
Shannon, I'm very sorry to hear that.
That what?
That
no, but she trained under the best. She trained under what?
That's not the experience we have in here.
Train again.
Look at how
come back for a real.
Look at Jane now. Look at Jane now. Look at how far she has come. So it's about developing young people and giving young people the opportunities, and realizing young people's growth. And I think that is most important.
And you have quite a nice team of young folks around you.
Definitely.
I think Desi works close to you as well.
Yeah, Desi Brown is my right hand. Anything I do, Desi does with me. Whether it's Express Events, whether it's any other business, whether I need her to write a speech, whether I need her to do whatever, that's my right hand. Other people have worked with me as well. A couple of years ago, Fons was involved with marketing of Express Events for the St. Kitts Music Festival. Diego Spanner from the very beginning. Diego, you have people like Brandon Cranston. The best of the best young people who have all contributed to Express Shazet Adams. The best of the best crew who have contributed to the Express Events VIP experience and what you see it has grown into today.
And just before you walked in, we were actually talking about how these political parties, we're in silly season right now. Yeah. Friday Judgment Day. Yeah. How these political parties are now actually really seeing the value in people like us who are involved in entertainment. Yeah. Before it was seen as a pastime, as a hobby. It wasn't taken seriously as an actual industry that stimulates the economy. Yeah. But now these parties are forced to turn to us to actually bring their campaigns to the people via social media and virtually. So I'm really, really happy. That being said, you're involved in entertainment. Music festival is a big time of the year for you and your people. But we're not having one. No. How is that affecting you?
well, Express Events for me is just a small, very minute part of what I do. I think it's important to be able to diversify and be able to have multiple streams of revenue. And that's something, again, that young people should look at. So Express Events is something a very small part of what I do. I have a Refresh Juice Bar with 3 locations. So we have down at Ross University, which is closed right now. We have 2 locations, one at Camps and one at Bird Rock Food Court. But the bulk of what I do, and many people watch me and ask me, they think that Express Events is all I do. But, my main business is the citizenship by investment business. I have 2 companies that focus on citizenship by investment, Rosman Consulting, Legacy Solution Services Limited. And that is my main business. So, I have tried over the years to tap into multiple streams of revenue opportunities. So whether it's the citizenship by investment program, it's Express Events from an entertainment side, and from a food side, Refresh Juice Bar. So for me, it is unfortunate, it's disappointing, especially not being able to see those regulars that we see every year that come in, specifically for the St. Kitts Music Festival. We have people who have been joined us for the past 10 years. People from Virgin Islands, people from Miami, US. So it's unfortunate that because of this whole corona, we did not get the opportunity to meet and see these people that we see every year for the St. Kitts Music Festival. But we know that it is for a cause, and we are hopeful and happy that next year, 2021, is definitely going to be our year.
And you know you have to come out big for that one.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's gonna
Even
be
if
a
we're
year.
going in the red, negative,
We have to do it.
We're coming out. We're gonna come
I know how I'm
big,
pay
big.
for it, but I come in with the
No,
rice.
it's okay.
I come in with the rice.
You could join. You could help.
Everything.
But we definitely come in big next year, 2021. God willing.
I believe you.
I think our promoters are coming big next year.
I mean, look at
Because this
it.
year hurt us.
Look at it. Look at how far our entertainment industry has come over the past years. You have so many young people who are involved in the entertainment business. Look at how far and look at how much we miss all these events. Oh my God! Monday I was ready for. Yeah.
This one here too.
Real
effect. Well,
yeah, it's a lot. Monday breaking down, I was so ready. Events. Cane juice, the beginning of summer. This is the time.
Tropics.
Soca revenge.
Yeah.
This is the time
It's
when we are.
season.
We just sitting back and reminiscing, going back to photos and looking like every day is a throwback. Wishing that we were back there and hoping that later on in the year, hopefully, God willing, we could have a carnival.
I mean, so you were the first and only female national carnival chairperson back in 2011.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Well, it taught me.
Still tired from 2011?
I am still, no, seriously, that 2011 experience was for me challenging, to say the least. I was part of the Carnival committee, and on the departure of Monarch Clement O'Gara, I was asked by the then Minister of Culture, Marcella Leibert, to step forward and be the chair of Carnival, and it was very, very challenging. I didn't last long. I probably lasted 6 months, if that.
Really?
Yeah. I resigned. I think probably maybe the April of the following year from that experience. But I now enjoy standing on the side. I enjoy participating in the bands. I enjoy going to the fetes. And I've seen the growth in Carnival, and I love it as a spectator.
Would you do it again?
Never.
I find that
Shannon,
fascinating.
there are a bunch of things that you would have implemented that are still ongoing. Were you on that coined the Sugar Mass title?
Yeah, well, Monarch and myself, you had Sugar Mass, you had Soca. Monarch back then was poised to be the event of Carnival, as it is in so many other islands. We established all of that back then, 2010, 2011. But to ask if I would do it again, no. I won't do it again.
As in, because this is coming from, that job must be really difficult.
Right.
This is coming from a woman who has several businesses,
And
who runs the most successful VIP experience.
No.
In the Caribbean.
I can
Definitely.
stick to.
And she's saying, no, me want me to.
No, I don't want to be the Carnival chair. I'm willing to
Understand.
lend my expertise. I'm willing to give advice, help, whatever way. But to be the Carnival chair again, never.
So basically, we underappreciate no.
maybe because I have seen Carnival grow, and I've seen it become more business-like. I think back then when I was doing it, it was everybody was doing their own thing. I remember nights up in Carnival Village. Well, back then we would have had the sugar down in the park. I think that was one of the first years we started Sugar Mill.
Yeah.
And with my lights on 3 o'clock in the morning, with a decorator, just me and him, trying to decorate for one of the events.
shows,
and I saying, just so you go put yourself in that. Never. I won't ever do it again. Kudos to all of the individuals who, have taken on the responsibilities for the various committees, Noah as the chair, but it is very, very, very difficult. It's not like St. Kitts Music Festival. The St. Kitts Music Festival is, yes, you have a planning committee and you're dealing with, just a few different types of people. Carnival, you're dealing with everybody from,
Hundreds of personalities,
masqueraders, hundreds of personalities. It's a full-time position.
And they all have their own opinions on what Carnival should be.
It's a full-time position, and it is not something that I have the time. Everything that I commit myself to, I'm passionate about, and I don't think that I have the time to be fully committed to the
That's
carnival
something you have
experience.
to clear your entire
Yeah, you have to
schedule
complete
do.
your year. You have to complete your whole
to.
year. It's not about, a 3-month plan. It's something that you have to plan for. It's a 12-month plan. So I think it is something that definitely takes somebody who is 100% committed to that cause and bettering the experience annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have about 5 more minutes left in the interview.
I want 5.
A few.
That's Jade's fault.
Yeah, Jay only allocated a certain amount
But
of
that's
time
okay.
for you.
That's okay. I understand.
We'll have you back again.
That's okay.
I don't like
Yeah.
how she support Jay so much. I don't like it.
No.
Recently, the Prime Minister announced that he is actually going to be, once re-elected, if re-elected, establishing a Ministry of Entertainment and Arts to basically encourage and be a resource for people like yourself and, Azim and Jade and myself, maybe even Kevin one day, people who are involved in the industry, to support them. What would you like to see come out of such a ministry in terms of their role, their responsibilities, the resources they provide and support they provide for people in the industry?
Well, I think it definitely is needed, as you said before. That has been an area that has been overlooked for so many years. And as you see more and more young people rising in the entertainment industry, and it's not only about, who could have a session, in terms of entertainment. It's about production. It's about creative arts. These are the areas that you see so many young people excelling from very young. You have people like, you have Poise, you have Children's Dance Theatre. You have these groups that have molded young women and, men to who they are today. So I think that aspect, that ministry, it is critical. And it's critical to have a minister who is going to heed and listen to the advice of the young people and have a core team of people around him or her who will, bring new ideas, fresh vision. And I think that is more important than anything else, because it's one thing to have a ministry of entertainment, but it's another thing to surround yourselves with the necessary individuals who would be able to move that ministry into the right direction, especially where we see our carnival going, where we see our entertainment business going. And I hope, Carnival, for instance, will fall under that ministry. I don't know. But anyway, we hope that Carnival will fall under that ministry, and areas where we know that we could do better. And this is the time to do better.
Well, both parties have actually pledged to build, multi-purpose or multicultural facilities to actually facilitate events of every kind of nature. The Honorable Sean Richards actually announced, I think it was either last night or 2 nights ago, that plans have actually been already approved for such a facility if they were to be re-elected, and Dr. Douglas also promised such a facility. And that brings me to venues. We as promoters, we have a difficult time securing venues to host our events. I'm sure you've been through that same issue as well. The only really venue that is catered for that is Carnival Village. Outside of that, we have to be up and down the place running after people trying to rent their private property to host events, and that shouldn't be. In Jamaica, Babsy Grange, who is the Minister of Entertainment down there, she has actually embarked on a mission to establish entertainment zones in various parts of Jamaica, where once a licensed promoter is hosting an event, he or she can do so at these zones and don't have to worry about noise and police coming and saying lock off the music and thing. And I think that's needed here as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we don't like monotony either. So we don't want some place that is a venue and then we're going in the same place every week to have an event. But we definitely need a place, a covered. Come on.
Yeah. For at least the carnival shows.
For at least the carnival shows. For at least large events. Large scale events. We need a place that we could say, okay, well, this is the event. This is a large scale event, and we need to utilize this space. We have so much land. We have so much areas that other places can't boast of to host events. So I hope to see that whichever administration, whichever party is elected, to see that, because it's 2 days before elections, 3 days before elections, 4 days before elections. Everybody's saying whatever they have to say to get a vote. So I think it is important for us to hold the politicians' feet to the fire and say, where is our entertainment center that you are?
That's what we're talking about before you walked in.
You told us what's possible. So we're gonna hold them accountable.
Oh wow! I'm very happy that Shannon feels the same way.
We're gonna hold them accountable.
Very happy.
We will.
We're gonna hold them accountable. Whoever it is, we're gonna hold
Oh
accountable.
wow!
And we're not going to put no water in our mouth to say whoever is elected,
Before you walked
we're
in,
going to
right?
hold them accountable.
Before you walked in, right, I actually told the people on here that this is one promise that Unity and Labour has made that will not slip through the cracks.
It will not.
And we'll hold them
And
accountable.
if I have to go on social media
And I'm glad Johnny
every
is here.
day,
Mr.
if I have to
Powell,
go on social media every day
Ambassador
and
Powell,
ask
come
for
and
it,
sit
if I ask, hold on, this is our time, This is our time now. This is
Ambassador
our,
Powell.
Hold on, this is our time, Ambassador Powell? Okay.
No, I'm. Good morning, everybody. I'm actually on next with Clive Bacchus, but I was listening, and I just want to compliment you guys on the discussion. Really healthy. I like to hear it. Into them things, from music festival to Carnival, and I just want to say big up to all of the young people and the stuff that all of y'all are doing.
We want our entertainment center, regardless of who.
Which is why, as the possible future Minister of Culture and Entertainment and that kind of stuff, we are putting in the ball in your court.
Exactly.
Ambassador Powell, as a possible future of this ministry, future minister of this ministry, to actually deliver on the promises that your Prime Minister made.
Well, we know. Hold on. We know prior to. We know we're gonna. Well, I know it's time for Jonel's time. It's 10 o'clock.
No, they're telling us we could have a little bit.
Just before I leave, I'm going to say that we know even prior to Jonel running, he was the Minister of FET.
Yes. The whole nation know that. We all know that.
It is not a secret that Jonel was the Minister of FET.
From long time.
So this is not something that happened overnight. So as the previous Minister of FET, we hope that this is something, if elected, he would really, put his other ministers' feet to the fire and say, where is my...
I've been pushing for it. We've seen what has happened, especially with things like music festival. Well, I've been personally involved in that, so I can speak to that, and even Carnival. But looking at the young talent that we have on the ground here, utilizing them, the only thing we outsource now is really the stage and the sound system. Everything else is locally done. And so this is what we're talking about. We want to grow those industries. And, obviously, come next week, Monday, the Ministry of Entertainment and Arts, and so we'll be up and running, and we're gonna get the ball going one time.
This is a paid.
I know, just crashing, I go on again.
Oh, okay, but it's now 10:05, and I know I have overstayed.
Yes.
But it was
that's okay.
Really,
we love to hear
really,
it.
really nice, and I'm big up again to Jade. And to yourselves, of course. Azem, of course. Azem, I'm a big fan of Azem. From, not only is that he's like
hey, Shannon.
Keep blushing.
Handsome young men in the federation, but his style, his everything I love about Azem. So big up to you guys and continue doing what you're doing. It is needed, and it is something that needs to be supported by whoever, again, government next week. And you need to hold politicians accountable.
Bigly.
Because we're hearing, that there's gold at the end of the rainbow. If we have to listen to either side, and I think we need to now hold them accountable to what they have promised.
Indeed. Well, Shannon, thank you
have
very
a
much for
good
joining
morning,
us.
and next week is a new week.
It is.
Okay?
All right, that brings us to the end of our 7th episode of Island Tea. We want to thank our guests, Dr. Lawrence from Meridian Medical Corner, Shannon Hawley of Express Events and Refresh, and of course,
our popping guest,
the Badger, Ambassador Jonel Powell. So keep it locked to FM 98.9, and we'll see you. Well, you'll see us. We're live
tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.